Hello, bearded bee people. Welcome back to B&K Bees. I don't know what I'm going to title this video, but this is something I've been thinking about a lot lately. It's important to leave the last section of the bee year, of the productive bee year, for the bees to figure out their winter configuration. Especially if you're dealing with, I'm going to talk about this as I'm going through this colony. It's important, especially if your bees are, locally adapted. If you went out of your way to get a local queen, a local survivor, it is important to let what they know how to do, let that happen. They will configure the hive, they will propolize everything, they will creep the nectar and honey in on the brood nest as the fall draws nearer and nearer and winter draws nearer and nearer. And they know exactly how to do all of that stuff, and any messing around by the beekeeper at this time of year is really truly detrimental to what the bees are trying to do. Earlier on in the year, checkering frames and giving them blank foundation and giving them empty boxes and all these kinds of things are great because we're trying to get them to build up and produce. But now the build up and produce portion of the year is largely over, and for the last section of it, I like to leave it to the bees. So what I'm doing today is pulling all the extractable honey and giving drawn frames back in their place, pulling all the queen excluders out and making sure everything has upper entrances, and installing robbing screens. This is truly, fall and winter preparation. And then after that, I will probably only be doing, tops and bottoms of boxes in terms of inspections, because like I said, they want to propolize everything and they want to configure everything in a particular way, and the likelihood of a swarm is almost zero, especially if you're leaving them those empty frames in place of the honey that you pulled. So you just kind of let them figure out the last portion of the year and do what they can to prepare themselves for the stressful time to come. So, I'm requeening some hives today, but in addition to that, oh man, are these bees gonna be bitches? So, but in addition to that, I'm doing what I just said. I'm pulling queen excluders. I'm gonna put this hood on, because these bees are acting like they're not gonna be very cool with me. Pulling queen excluders, pulling honey, as the goldenrod, the early goldenrod, is starting to bloom right now, and then the nectar goldenrod in a couple weeks, and I want all that to go to the bees for the winter. Oh, that's heavy, that's good. Got some drone brood there. I don't see any mites, so that's good. Alright, I'm going to find out if you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so like I said, I'm requeening hives today, and this is one of them. So I'm going to go through and pinch her, and then take that queen excluder away, see if there's any extractable honey frames. Although that box felt heavy, it's not, I don't think that there's going to be any absolutely full frames. I think they have 9 or 10 partial frames in there, which is fine. That's less that I have to feed. Alright. No queen. Once again, this is a beautiful brood pattern, and it saddens me to have to do this, but it is for the betterment of the colony. It's like replacing a car part, upgrading a car part. There she is. Alright. Just be quick about it. Don't think too long about it. If you do, tell yourself it's the betterment of the colony. I love this hive as a whole, and I want so badly for them to be around and happy in April. And for that effort, I do an unpleasant thing. Okay. Now off with the queen excluder. Throw it off with the rest of them. Yeah. Try to brush those bees off so that I don't crush them. I think I did a pretty good job of that. And give a cursory look. We just extracted from this yard 2 weeks ago and gave them a lot of blank foundation. So the likelihood of me having a considerable haul from here is not very good, but that's okay. They gave us a lot already, and we've got about 40 hives out here that look really, really good, and that's all that matters to me. These bees look good, they look happy, they look healthy. I'm happy. I did what I was supposed to do. I did what I promised myself I would do, and that is anything and everything for these bees. That's a heavy frame. Doesn't look very kept though. Not gonna grab a bunch of uncapped stuff. Anything that I don't bring with me is the less sugar I have to bring out here, and that is a good thing. See, and now what the bees are probably likely to do is for the next couple of weeks, bring the brood nest up just to the bottoms of these center frames, so they'll have like a half moon of brood at the bottoms of these frames, and then over the course of the goldenrod flow, that nectar and honey will encroach on that brood nest, filling up the bottom box and just kind of closing in on it at all sides, to the point where at the end of October the brood nest might be on a couple frames and it might be about as big as a grapefruit. And at that point this hive will be extremely heavy, and because of the fact that I did this, they will be all propolized and all configured exactly the way they want to be, and they'll have a good chance going through winter. Okay, I'm not pulling any honey from this hive, and like I said, that is okay by me. I have 2 yards that I haven't pulled from at all that we're going to pull over the next day or so. So that means we will have a considerable amount of honey left, or a considerable amount of honey to extract yet. Come on, lady. Was that really necessary? But just not from this yard, probably. Their big pull was 2 weeks ago. Try to get that stinger out quickly. Alright, and I'll be back in an hour to give them their new queen. So, Thanks for watching. Get out there and have some fun with your bees. See ya.